Is it any real surprise that Democrats have tried to change everything about capitalism into a crime by criminalizing Donald Trump and changing laws to make voter integrity, checking on voter integrity, calling that, what do they do that with Giuliani? Defamation. You know, an example of true defamation, when you're checking on election integrity and investigating that it was fair, that's not defamation. Those people that work the polls know that they're supposed to be under scrutiny. They're supposed to be. And to make sure that everything was done right so that your vote counts and that it doesn't count more than once. Well, defamation, an example of defamation is calling somebody a racist who is not a racist. That's defamation of character. Calling somebody a liar who's not lying. So, the side of the politics that is lying is the one that's saying they care about border control when for the last 4 years they have promoted coming across our borders illegally. Amnesty is okay sometimes, but when you know the government of Venezuela is emptying their prisons and sending it over our border, and that's okay with you, and you'd rather criminalize a capitalist, change the laws in New York and criminalize a capitalist, that you have to end up changing back later, or you may not have to. You need to. But the point is, Democrats want to go back to their slavery. They are the party of slavery. Don't forget that. They are the party of racism. Evolution, which is racism. They are not the party of one human race from God, Adam and Eve. They want to get rid of that God. They want to get rid of the evidence of us being born. They want us walking around with castrated men everywhere, with the sex change operations, and neutered or spayed. I forget if the female animal is neutered or spayed. The male is either neutered or spayed, one or the other. So they want to neuter and spay our women, or whichever one it is. And that's their goal. That's what they're starting with, these laws of sex change with transgenders. Their real goal is to start castrating men. That's an open door to castration. That's an open door to making sure women can't have babies. They're surgically removing their ability to have babies by government power. So by getting rid of capitalism as well. You get rid of capitalism, you got one capital, and that's the government. And that's the worst capitalist monopoly in history. It would be. So anyway, they don't want. Capitalism is not bad. It has its protections. Nothing's perfect. But with capitalism, you don't like a job, you can go to choose from 1 million others almost, right? Thousands of other jobs. You can leave. But when the government becomes the capital, the only capital, there's nowhere to run. All right? So the Democrats want to bring slavery back. They are the party of slavery, and they want to bring slavery back. That's why they hate on capitalism. Sure, there's cautions to take in capitalism, as in everything else. And it's good that we have what some people sarcastically call handouts and things, because that idea came from God's grace, mercy, second chances, recycling. It helps us recycle people back into the workforce after injuries and things like that, and to help people who can't. So some of the laws about you're not allowed to make money and how many hours you can work, all those kind of things, some of those are tricks that trap people in a system that helps people to where they can't help themselves a lot of times, when they can't get property and all this kind of stuff, or have certain rules. We need to alleviate that stuff, simplify it. But anyway, the main point I wanted to make is capitalism. Part of their goal in criminalizing Donald Trump was to criminalize capitalism. It was deeper than what you think. It's trickier than you think. And Donald Trump is a very responsible person. He's never had a beer in his life. Donald Trump is, one thing he's careless with is he's not careful with his words, about being sarcastic with his words, I mean, some things are stupid in this world, and I think we should be allowed to use the word stupid, and he does that. But there's certain things he does, cursing sometimes. I think he's gotten a little better on that, but, some people are real picky about that. But his principles, he's actually a generous person. He's not a greedy person. He's a generous person. But people believe some of the lies about him because of his somewhat foul language that he uses a lot of times. And that's the only downside I see with him. Mostly he's got good character, and I just don't see it. As far as him being attracted to women, evidence shows that he's attracted to women in the past. I don't think that's weird. I really don't. I've always thought it's weird to act like men are animals for being attracted to women. I thought that was weird, and that happens more than most things. But I think it's weird to think that women are worthless if they're attracted to men. That's weird, and the reason it's weird is because it's got an agenda behind it. It's population control, probably mostly that, and it's people who actually hate gender, so they want to get rid of genders. They act like they don't want gender bigotry. They pretend to be against gender bigotry, but they're wanting to castrate everybody and create a no-gender society. So we will have no gender in heaven in the second life, but this world has gender. God created it to have gender, and it is a battle of trying to understand each other. There are differences, all those kind of things. There's also attractions to it, and it was created that way to grow the population, not to stunt the population. God wants to grow the population, and because that makes more people have an option to choose heaven and grows the population to heaven, which will be a perfect place. Anyhow, I'll stop with that. Part of the reason they've criminalized Trump falsely on most charges, almost every charge I think is false, or it's exaggerated at least. It was all political. It was all to cheat. It was the purpose of criminalizing Trump was to cheat in the elections, and it's called lies. It's called defamation. It's major defamation of character. It's thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. They've done that over and over, and some people think it's okay to do that to Trump. So in other words, it's okay to lie and bear false witness against somebody that you hate. It's okay to hate people, and they pretend to be the party against hate. Somehow they have both sides because they own a monopoly in media. They have, but they don't as much as they used to, and that's part of why it's not all the way working. And people can see they didn't help much with this hurricane in the Carolinas and Georgia, and that's the least help we've ever gotten for disasters. And it's partly because they ran out of FEMA money, because apparently they gave what I've heard on TV yesterday. What did I hear? Specifically from somebody who knew some facts, that there was $9,000 given to individual illegal immigrants out of FEMA money. $9,000 per illegal immigrant. That's not every one of them, but that's at a certain time until they ran out, I guess. They did that, and that's to cheat in the elections. That's partly because the Democrats want to cheat, and so they'll cut you off. They'll cut me off. The last 4 years, they won't let you say they cheated. They're calling that defamation. It's not defamation. They cheated. They're cheating by lying about Donald Trump, and it's not okay to lie about people you hate. All right? Anyway, but they're doing that. They're doing a lot of things wrong, but they hate capitalism because they want to have a capitalist government. That's a complete form of dictatorship and tyranny, and it is tyranny. Tyranny means you have to follow the rules, but they don't, and that happens a lot in our inner cities, in our ghettos. They can steal from you, but you can't steal. You can't even short them money. I think I'm getting bit by fire ants. I'm going to stop.